Hey everybody, it is Calxiyn here, and thank you for attending Calxyn's Royal Court today as we have gathered to discuss ODDTAXI Episode 8. I'm super excited to show you guys my reaction highlights as well as my review, but before we get into it, remember to subscribe for more ODDTAXI videos so you're notified when I post an ODDTAXI video. Join the Discord server if you want to talk about ODDTAXI with me and all the other people that are currently watching it right now. And thank you to all of the patrons and YouTube membership members for allowing me to make videos like these. If you want access to my full-length timer and subtitle reaction, as well as early access to my reviews, you can check that out. But without further ado, we're just gonna jump right into it. But actually, there is something that I wanted to talk about because I opened up my third eye the other day. And what I mean by that is that I was looking at the audio drama because I was posting ODDTAXI episode 4. See, like, this gives you an idea of how early the early access is. Like, if you're watching this like live on YouTube, if that makes sense, like if you're watching this the day it goes public, I'm probably done and like all my reactions are probably up on Patreon, because as of what I'm recording this, it is August 14th and I just posted the ODDTAXI episode 4 review and reaction to YouTube. So I was doing that, and so what I had to do was I had to go back, basically look at like what's the point on this audio drama number. Like it was 4 point something. I don't remember what it was. But I was like, you know, it's weird how they change it every time. Like, you think it would just be, you know, like 4.5, 2.5, 3.5. Like, you think that they would just do it that way. And I was sort of thinking about it because it didn't really make sense to have that level of, like, I guess I didn't want to call it like inconsistency, because now I know, like, now I think I know that, like, why they're doing that. But I was like, yeah, that's kind of weird and like inconsistent, right? Like, for them to change the number every time, because it's a hassle for me, because then I have to go back, look at the audio drama, see what number it was, right? So I was sort of thinking like, oh, you know, like, I wonder why they do this. It would be so easy if it was just all like 4.5. But then I realized something, that these have all been in the future. And so I think, like, here's my theory about this right now, I'm so excited, is that I think that with the audio dramas, the first number is the episode that you're supposed to watch it like after, right? So watch episode 4, watch like 4.6 or whatever it was, right? But the point is when it happened, like where it happened in the timeline. And I think that that's so smart, because I think that the one with the girls is like 2.5 or something. Like, it's audio drama 2.5. And episode 5 was when the manager got into the taxi and got the pen, and then they were all at rehearsal, which is when this probably happened, right? So I think that I got it. I think that like the other point of the number is the, I guess, the episode that it takes place during or after or like around in the timeline. So I can't think of anything in particular that would like mean for us at the moment per se, you know what I mean? Just because, like, obviously, well, now I'm on episode 8, so it's kind of a late thing to realize. I mean, we'll just keep that in mind for what we see today, but that would have been cool to like have realized before, to realize like for you know, the 2.5s and the ones like earlier. But I guess that means that the Rui and comedian one has been released to the internet, because that took place during 7, right? I think. And so maybe like that could be a thing, because I'm just waiting like for the idol boy to get like his hopes crushed by the fact that Rui already has a boyfriend. So just wanted to talk about that. Now let's get into the reaction. Oh, damn. Oh, he's a dud, so they're finding out he lied. Oh no. Is he gonna rap all of his dialogue? This show is crazy. Oh man. Whoa. Damn. Oh, damn. He's like, yeah, stick the ring up your ass. Oh, man. Oh, he's still worried about her. Don't you get it? Damn. Yeah, see? They're exposing the fact she was working with them all along. Maybe it's not even about that today, though. He seems startled. He seems like he's in a rush or something. Really? Oh my god, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, you know, he's gonna hide in the back seat, I was thinking to myself, but the trunk, oh man. Damn. Yeah, that's true. He's not that innocent, right? 1 billion yen! Oh man, okay. Ooh, Calico Girl. Oh, the harbor. Poor Kakihana. Oh no, I want Odokawa to expose this. I want to see it exposed just so bad. Oh, Yano, right. Oh my god. Damn. He's not laughing. He's not laughing. Oh man, Odokawa's like lying on his feet. That's the thing. Is like Odokawa is very good at like lying, and that puts him in a very morally gray kind of situation, you know? Like, oh, I wish Odokawa exposed them, sis. Damn. Oh, see, he's like, it doesn't matter to me. Oh, shit. Oh, bad news. Oh, okay, Oh, damn. Oh, Kakihana. Oh, she seems pissed, though, but is she pissed at him? Or is she pissed at him or at them? Oh, damn! No! That's how she really feels! Oh, Kakihana. Damn! Oh, God. I feel bad for him, but, like, I don't know what else he expected. That is true. He is a liar. And he's broke. I feel bad, but it's hard. You know what I mean? Like, I get both sides, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get why for, like, an 18-year-old girl, she would be like, yeah, you, like, disgusting old guy going after me, and you're a liar and you have no money, right? But then, I don't get it. Oh, wait, they're experimenting on him. Oh, damn. Oh, they're revealing it. Okay. So they're actually saying it in the show that it's not real. You know what I mean? So they are human. Oh, that's messed. That's crazy. Oh, that's kind of, oh, we're getting like backstory. That's nice. Oh man, the comedians are still on the radio. I love that. Oh. Rude? He said you're dignified. That was nice. Oh, maybe he said it in like a condescending way. You know what I mean? Damn. Like stuck up. Oh, damn. He just told him how it is. Oh, so he knows he's a doctor. Oh, wow. Odokawa's like a little, oh yeah. He's a little scary. Oh, that's true. You know? Oh. Damn. Damn! Oh, this is such a cute start to their friendship, though. Oh. Ah, damn. I love that, though. Oh, that's nice. Oh. Oh. Damn. I wonder. Oh, Kingdom Hearts. Oh, again. Oh, so he's the judge of the comedy contest? That's interesting. Oh. Hey, eavesdropping is useful sometimes. Damn, see, he's like testing him. Aw, damn. Oh, man, nice little case study. See, exactly. So, like, you know, comparing him to her. Damn. See, so that means Odokawa must know the stuff about the girls. He just hasn't wanted to, like, confront it for some reason. And that kind of makes him interesting, you know? The show would wrap up a lot faster if he did, but... Damn! I love how the bar lady's like, I even know that! Oh my god. Oh man! No, 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 no! Oh man, no! Damn, we don't need that kind of gossip. Oh dear. No! Oh, He's probably not. Ah, no. Come on, dude. Answer it with your foot. Your foot's in range. Oh, dear. He's knocked out, probably. Damn. Wait, what if Kakihana's like, I'll get it from Odokawa if you give me money, if you settle my debt? What if Kakihana sells out Odokawa? Oh. Oh, damn. Jesus. That is true. That is true. Damn. Oh, no. I don't want them. Whoa, 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 what? Wait, what? Okay. I don't get it. I'm so confused. I don't understand. Aww. 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 I do feel bad for Kakihana. Oh, that's interesting. So, okay, so he filmed it, but it doesn't look like that he exposed the fact that Odokawa was there. You know what I mean? Like, I guess he zoomed in on Dobu. Oh, sir. Oh, again. Online salon? What does that mean? Like a Discord server? Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh, wait, there's a fee. Oh, dear. Well, that's not, I mean, oh yeah, they are saying Odokawa's the traitor, right? Because Odokawa was able to recognize him even with the mask on. So he thinks it's somebody on the inside, right? But it's not. Odokawa just is special. Oh yeah, they're in the finals! Good job! He doesn't seem that excited. Oh yeah, there we go. I was gonna say he doesn't seem that excited. He just needed a second, you know? Damn. Oh, show him. He'll know. Come on, show Odokawa the footage. Really? Are you serious? I thought that Miho was just saying that. Oh, he's recording it. Damn, Odokawa, you sneaky son of a bitch. Oh man, I don't think that was that slick though, because what if his phone falls out or something? Oh, maybe the idol guy. So they're expecting, oh, okay, a bank employee. Yeah, see? Oh my god, so they want to get the idol boy's money. No, I don't want them to take his money. No, Odokawa, you can't let him do this. You can't let him take the idol boy's money. I'm so sad. I wanted to live vicariously through him. No. Oh man, you see, Odokawa can't be slick. Damn. Can Odokawa play a bluff? I don't know. Whoa, bro! No, the flash will be on! He sneezed though, so maybe he sneezed to cover up the noise. Okay. Odokawa, he's doing well. He sent off the recording to the police, but what if Big Damon looks at Little Damon's email first? That's probably bad, but he may help idol guy, okay? Oh my god, he's like, I can't die until mystery kiss. Oh my god. Record scratch, freeze. First of all, you should be wearing a seatbelt, okay? He can't die until Mystery Kiss takes over the country. Oh, shit! Oh my god! He knows! Now he actually knows! Oh no! Oh! Oh man, that's awesome! Oh happening. Oh, Jesus. I can't wait till next episode. Let's go watch the audio drama. Oh. Really? Ooh, that's interesting. Oh. Wait, he has a daughter? What if one of the girls is his daughter? Bro, wait. Oh my God. What if the comedy guy is the friend of the boss? And he said, that's why it's like, oh, you know, she's 18 now, I guess, if she's still alive, right? Oh my God, that'd be crazy. Like the missing girl. What if it's his daughter? You know what I mean? All right, everybody, let us get into the review. Now, if you have not seen this review format before, because I don't think that I've done it yet, don't worry, we're gonna do everything as we usually do, but if I am using this review format, it is usually because I cannot record in person for whatever reason. It's like the Calxiyn, like, break the glass and get out the VTuber model type situation. And so we're just going to go over, like, things pretty much scene by scene as usual, but I did want to mention, like, the thing with the audio drama. It seems like that they are sort of foreshadowing at the fact that Donraku, like the comedy guy, like the famous guy, the guy that's on the eraser and everything, may be like the dad of the missing girl, and that may be like a whole thing. And so I really am interested in how that's connecting. That's what I sort of got from seeing the audio drama. And so it seems like that maybe Boss and that guy, like when it said, oh, you know, it's one of Boss's like old classmates, right? Like I feel like that Boss's classmate was Donraku or something, and that could be like the whole thing. And that makes me pretty excited to see how like that whole plot line is connecting. So they're basically talking about how Kakihana is a dud. He's actually a part-time janitor. Not only that, but he's drowning in debt and desperate. And so I really like the fact that they seem to be able to translate all of Yano's raps like really, really well. Like it in Ring, oh, well, okay, maybe not that one. Thought he could get away with lying about it. The only thing he had on him was this ring, an engagement ring. I could cry, so desperate to tie the knot he lied, right? So at least that's a rhyme, right? And so they did a pretty good job of like at least trying to make it rhyme in the sub as well, which I really appreciate. I think that that's really cool. See, liquefied again rhymes with lied, so I thought that that's like really cool for his character. I don't know why he's rapping all the time. Somebody did tell me, I think, that his voice actor is a famous like rapper or something, and so maybe that's why. I think it's like an interesting character quirk, but I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how I feel about it, I guess, you know what I mean? It just seems sort of like, over the top, I guess you could say. And I know that, like, oh, like, over the top, there's, like, murder and stuff, but it feels like that, like, we have a very serious story going on, but then, like, he just comes in and he's rapping all of his dialogue, right? But maybe that's the idea, right? Like, things are already kind of crazy. Right? It's sort of implied that Odokawa does not, like, he does not live in an animal society. He sees people, like human beings, as these animals, right? And so you could also argue that things are already kind of like, you know what I mean? Like maybe the reason why things keep getting like more extreme as time goes on is because of like Odokawa's like own imagination. Almost, right? Like, you know, because I feel like that's a very compelling reason for him to be rapping, if this is just like kind of like how Odokawa like imagines things almost. And so yeah, I like again the fake honey and the money. Like I thought that was just really, really good. But yeah, I don't have too much to say about like the rap part, as much to say as I think it's interesting how Kakihana, like he refuses to believe it. He still cares about her, and that's why it's so hard to feel like I feel bad for Kakihana, and at the same time, I don't feel bad for Kakihana, you know what I mean? Like, I feel bad for him because he seemed to genuinely kind of care about her, because he was like, oh, you know, is she okay? Like, what did you guys do to her? Like, that was sort of his mentality. At the same time, though, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you still trust that girl you wanted to get with, your brains are in the trash can. And I'm like, hard agree on that, right? And so it's just a very interesting situation because on one hand, like as a very young person around the age of Shiho, right? I'm kind of like, you know, the fact that like this like 40, you know, 7-year-old man or something like wanted to be with her creeps me out, like, you know, to be frank, right? And so there's that. And so on one side, like I really sympathize with her. On the other side, the show really also makes you sympathize with him as well and his like, you know, his emotions in all of these scenes, like as he cries and he yells out for her and all that stuff. So I think that something the show is really good at is doing like a bunch of different perspectives, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it makes you understand sort of all sides of something. It's not like, oh yeah, Kakihana was a creep, you know, like that's it, like that's the end of the story. It's actually kind of like layered, right? And it's not an excuse for his creepiness per se. But rather, we get to sort of like feel emotions from all parties, regardless of what side they're sort of on. Except for, I guess the exception to that is like Miho. Like Miho, I thought that she was like lying about like a lot of stuff. Like I thought she was lying through her teeth about like loving Odokawa and everything. And I still kind of feel that. Maybe that's like the only character. That's the only character I can think of where I was like, like I don't think, you know what I mean? I don't like sympathize with her at all. Like I was very harsh, I guess, during that scene. Whereas with this scene, it's like I sympathize with Shiho a lot, but then also like it, you know, it really does make you feel bad for what Kakihana is going through because he is still like the victim of a scam, right? And so then Dobu has a new plan, and they're basically, you know, talking about like the dash cam data again. So he's saying that it's okay to basically go and pick up the manager. I kind of like that. I like how like, it's very like a simple thing, but I like how Dobu communicated here without like using words, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, okay, like you can go pick him up. Like I thought that that was really, really cool to see like how they're like strategizing, I guess I should say, how they're strategizing as well in this scene. And so at first Dobu wants to hide in the truck, but then he's like, no, I can't do that. As far as I'm concerned, he's a harmless passenger, right? Because to some extent, he kind of is. Like, we see him get his shit kicked in later, so he is really very much harmless. Then ask him why he really wants the data. If he's connected to Yano, then tell me about it later. Don't you think he'd lie about that? That's right. That's why violence is the only way, right? So we kind of see like, yeah, like now you're starting to learn Odokawa. You can't just ask him. Of course he's gonna lie about it. That's why I need to do violence, right? And so I think that it's nice to see, I guess, the divide between him and Odokawa, if that makes sense. Because Odokawa was like very much like, no, like I'm not letting you do that. I'm not letting you do the violence. I have to go. I told him I'd be there in 10 minutes. And Dobu's like, oh, fine, whatever. You'll sell it to him for 1 billion yen. So basically part of the strategy here is to make the other side think that Dobu has put a bid on the dash cam data. And I thought that that was really, really smart. In this scene, we see that Shiho is obviously like very much distressed, right? I feel like that she is afraid of Yano, probably. I wonder if she's met Yano before, but she's, cause she says, oh, like, you know, that guy, do I have to meet that guy? Like she starts to say Yano, but then she says that guy as if she doesn't really know him all that well. But that could also be because she's trying not to say his name in front of Odokawa, right? And so Odokawa is still like remembering her. Hey, am I going to meet Yano, right? That guy, right? So she cuts herself off and says that guy instead. And she could be doing that again just because Odokawa is in the taxi, but at the same time, I feel like that she's not really like familiar with him at the same time. Like if you want to quit, you'll have to tell him yourself. It sounds like the manager has always been like a liaison for them up until now. And like now, like she has to go directly to the boss, right? And so you see like the look on her face. She's like, but I worked like really hard. Like, you know, even though I don't want to run this scam anymore, I can still be valuable. I can still be useful, right? Apparently that target didn't work out. What? You mean he didn't have the money? Is that old man serious? And so that's interesting though, that they'd be willing to talk about that in the taxi because like that target didn't work out. Like that sounds like so like sus, you know what I mean? And so I feel like that this is why though, why Shiho is so cold, I guess, to Kakihana later, especially because like first of all, I don't think that she wanted to do it like in the first place, right? Like who wants to go on all these dates with these like you know seedy, shady old men. I don't know how to explain it, right? Like, there's that level, but then also, like, hey, like, you ruined my scam, you know what I mean? Like, I had to do all this and you didn't even have any money, right? Like, it's that sort of thing, right? And I think that's an interesting angle for her, because not only is she saying, hey, I want to, like, quit, I want to stop running these Badger games, now it's almost as if, like, she is being, I don't want to say exposed for her incompetence, because it's not her fault, but she's like, I am going to get, like, roasted as I go in here because I want to quit doing this all together, and I didn't get Yano the money he expected, so Yano is going to be pissed. Like, I could see that being really her thought process, is that how can she say I want to quit when her last target, like, didn't even work out, when she didn't, like, even give the money that Yano expected. Like, I feel like that maybe she's afraid at this point that it's not just about, like, her wanting to stop running the games. It's like, well, what can she do, like, period, right? Because she can't even successfully scam someone, and so they may, like, cut her loose, basically. They may, like, want to get rid of her, is basically what I'm thinking. So I feel like she's gonna be, like, very concerned about her position. And so, yeah, they basically talk about, like, the dash cam data here, and I love him. He starts laughing. He's like, oh yeah, so funny, Odokawa. Like, he thinks that he's joking. And so I thought that this scene was really cool, just because it's like, oh yeah, that's the price a child would come up with. Like, oh wait, you're serious, right? Like, and he sees, like, Odokawa is not that kind of guy, you know what I mean? Odokawa is very serious. A lot of the time, it's so super serious. And, like, look at her face. She's just like, what is happening? Like, what is going on, right? This is ridiculous. Odokawa, you're gouging me here. I found someone who said they'd buy it for 900 million, right? And so that's important, right? Because that is why I guess the group of criminals here think that it's Dobu, right? Because only Dobu would have that kind of money to put in a counter offer. So I thought that that was, like, pretty smart. So then in this scene, we definitely see some money arguments. They weren't the only ones performing today, right? Like, oh, is this all the money we made from the concert, right? Because that concert had a bunch of other idols as well, right? So I think they're saying, like, oh, this is all we made, and the manager's trying to say, well, hey, like, they weren't the only ones performing. They had to compete against all these other idol groups for, like, merch sales and attention. And so you see Shiho back here, and she seems kind of, oopsies, she seems kind of embarrassed. Like, she seems kind of ashamed of the fact, like, she is, like, standing right there, and Kakihana is, like, you know, in her line of sight, or rather, I guess, that he can see her. But, like, I feel like that she is, like, pissed at him too, and she could be anxious as well, just because obviously she's trying to tell Yano she doesn't want to run the Badger games anymore, and so that could be a very coddling gesture. That's a very, like, self-conscious gesture, I guess I should say, the hand cupping the elbow like she was in this scene. I'll just show it again so you guys know what I'm talking about right there. But they say that Yano's busy, and I'm like, this is busy? You know what I mean? Like, he's just, like, you know, sitting here rocking out, but I kind of wonder, like, is he listening to music, or could he be listening to, like, the audio dramas or something for information? Like, what if he's listening to where the pen is, and he's, like, eavesdropping on, like, whatever conversation's going on as well, you know? Like, I feel like that would be, Yano, no pun intended. Like, I feel like that would be very interesting. And then the manager says, more importantly, I've got some bad news, and that's about, like, the dash cam data, right? But Kakihana interrupts, and he's like, I'll protect you. I did this martial arts, and I did this, and I did that. But, like, look at how mad she is, right? Like, she looks pissed. She looks even embarrassed that he's, like, saying anything, right? And so look at her face, because I feel really bad for her. You know what I mean? Like, I feel really bad for her, but at the same time, this scene really makes you feel bad for Kakihana, because it seems like that he genuinely wants to be like, it's okay, like, I'm pretty strong, you know, like, I can get through this. Like, he seems genuine, and I guess that's, like, kind of the crux of Kakihana's character, is that he is, like, you know, he makes some very bad choices, some very poor choices, but at the same time, like, deep inside somewhere, he does have, like, a genuine heart. Like, despite lying and despite, like, everything, I guess, like, he has a genuine heart, and he genuinely did care about her enough to kind of be like, you know, like, I'm strong enough, I can take this, you know, like, this is nothing, right? And so to sort of, like, have that sort of attitude about it, I guess, you know? And so I feel like that's what makes him really sympathetic. Don't get the wrong idea, mister. Seriously, I can't even, right? Because again, like, I sort of, like, sympathize with her as well. Like, yeah, Kakihana, he majorly, like, fucked up, right? But at the same time, it's like, well, you know, from Shiho's perspective too, like, there's just so much that, like, there's so much to unpack here in terms of her perspective, right? Didn't we have fun together? This is where I think, like, Kakihana is a little delusional, you know what I mean? So she says, spending time with you was painful. That's why I want to quit running Badger games. And so, yeah, you see him get upset about this. He's like, oh, you're lying. You're not the kind of girl who says that, right? And so I feel like that, again, it's very hard to watch. It's very hard to watch, like, Kakihana crying like that. But at the same time, I'm just like, oh, she's kind of right, though. Like, you're a liar and you're broke, right? And so, and what did you expect, I guess? Like, manipulating someone to only care about you for your money, and then their reaction when you don't have any money. You know what I mean? Like, that's why a relationship needs to be built more on appearance or more on, like, one, I guess, facet, right? If you date someone just because they have money, right, and you don't like anything else about them, and then, like, they lose their job or something, like, that's basically, like, the end of the relationship, in theory, right? And I feel like that's probably something that Kakihana didn't understand. He was just like, oh, well, if I get enough money, like, I can, you know, all the girls will kind of want me, but that's the only reason why they want you if you have no other redeeming qualities. And so, of course, the relationship would fall apart if the only foundation is something that easily fluctuates throughout your entire life, right? You're not going to keep your appearance forever. You're not going to keep the amount of money you're making forever. And so, I mean, like, in terms of personality too, people do change, but I feel like that, like, a relationship needs to be built more on than just on something that is so, like, easily fluctuating, like money and appearance really is. So Odokawa was investigating outside, I guess, and he sees a scooter, but then he gets interrupted by Gouriki, who is saying, like, can you tell who this is? And then he's like, oh, it's Kakihana, you unemployed bum. And I just love how they talk to each other. They're just so funny. And I love the backstory that we got at this episode too. So then Gouriki says if he wants to go get drinks, basically. It's been a while, so I guess I'll go. Like, that's his attitude, right? Can you tell from this photo that this is Kakihana? I guess I'd believe you if you told me it was him, but I doubt I'd know if I were just shown the photo without the context, right? And so that's sort of like the crux of this, is that they are realizing that Odokawa has something special, right, basically. And so they're trying to, like, figure out what it is. And so they do bring up synesthesia, which I think is interesting, because I think that we talked about that, like, in the early episodes of the show. Like, are they actually animals, or is it something like synesthesia? So I'm glad that we actually got that confirmation, because it's a theory that I brought up early that I thought would be left, like, not unexplored, but, like, up to interpretation. Like, you could think it's synesthesia, or, like, maybe it's not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, something like that. It would be left up in the air and for the audience to decide, but instead they're actually like going for it. And so I wonder, like, would they, I don't want to say cured, because I don't think that that's, you know, like, I don't think that that's very nice, but I wonder if at the end of the show, the veil will be lifted somehow and we'll see all of the characters for how they really look. But you could also argue that the way Odokawa sees them is how they really look in a way, in a metaphorical way, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, they're basically spot on with their theory here. The indicator is obviously he sees everyone, like, as a different type of animal. Speaking of this, though, I think that this is kind of concerning, and I say this because, like, we had this theory that Odokawa has a cat in his apartment, right? Like a stray cat or something based off of the OP. But that cat also has the same color fur as the girl that went missing. And so I sort of had this idea, well, what if, you know, he sees human beings as, like, animal people, but could it be possible to see a human being and get it mixed up, like, with an actual pet cat? You know what I mean? And so I wonder, like, is the conclusion to this gonna be that Odokawa, like, accidentally kidnapped the missing girl? You know what I mean? Because he genuinely thought and perceived it as a cat and didn't know that it was actually human, and didn't even see it as a personified animal, but a literal, like, cat, you know? And so I think that that's very interesting, and I'm sort of scared, to be honest. I'm scared that that's what everything is going to point to. See, they say it's an imaginary friend, but I just don't think so. You know what I mean? Maybe if they're gonna go with that route, they could do something where it's like the cat that he thinks that he has doesn't exist, and it is imaginary, and it's a manifestation of the girl that went missing and the guilt that he feels about, I guess, like dropping her off and then her dying shortly after, right? Like it could just be like, you know what I mean? And so I don't know. But if he's invented an imaginary friend, then he may be under more stress than he realizes, right? And so that's what I'm sort of wondering. Like, what if the imaginary friend is in the image of the missing girl, but is not actually her? It's just like a manifestation of his guilt, I guess. And I really like seeing the backstory of how they met. I thought that it was really, really nice. I liked also the continuity, like with the comedians, right? Like, oh yeah, we used to broadcast just, you know, in this city, but now we've gone like national, right? And so I thought that that was really cool that we could see that. And I thought it was funny that Gouriki found them like annoying or whatever, right? And so I just love this conversation just because he's like, oh yeah, you're so dignified, you know, like you're acting so. I feel like that he didn't mean dignified though. He meant like posh, I guess, like something that would kind of also be seen as an insult, because he says, hey, that's rude, like, you know what I mean, like watch your manners, right? But dignified we usually say is a compliment. So I feel like he said like, you know, you're so like uppity, something to the equivalent of that, where it could be definitely seen as an insult, right? And I love how he guessed that he was a doctor and everything. Like, I thought that this was really interesting. You got some kind of pent up anger or what, right? It's not anyone's fault that your life isn't going well. It's not your environment's fault either. It's your fault. Jesus Christ. You should resolve it yourself without bothering others. And see, I feel like though, that may not have been the right thing to say for a doctor, like, you know, like recommend some psychotherapy or something. But I feel like that may have really stuck with Odokawa, because I feel like that's something so interesting about the show is that like Odokawa never really like has internal monologue, right? Like we finally see at the end of this episode how he like figures out that Shiho and Kakihana and all of that were like connected. Like we do see that like come to him, I guess you could say, but we don't really get to know what he thinks a lot of the time, and he doesn't openly express like stuff like that a lot, I guess. And so I feel like that something like this kind of left an impression, because Dr. Gouriki was saying like, you know, he pretends that he wants for nothing, right? And all of that stuff. And so it kind of seems like that Odokawa has like that mentality to kind of like keep to himself. And so yeah, then he like knows that he's a doctor and they think that he's like psychic or something, and I thought that that was funny. And I just like to see like the origins of their friendship, right? Because Gouriki's actually like, okay, like I vibe with this guy. Psychic powers come in a variety of flavors. I can see souls. And see, that's what I mean by the whole like metaphor thing, is that even if at the end of the show the veil is lifted and we see everyone as quote unquote human, like I feel like that like this is their soul, if that makes sense. Like this is supposed to be, it's a metaphor, you know what I mean? Like this is how their souls manifest as these animals. And see, I just find this endearing. Like he finds him funny and everything like that. Like I just thought that that was really cute. And then he goes, Odokawa goes to like make a turn, but he's like, don't turn, head straight instead, right? Because he's thinking like, oh man, the taxi driver's like going the wrong way. But then Odokawa was like, hey, you want me to go straight, but actually if we do this, we'll get to your clinic faster. And you just see like the dumbfounded like look on his face. And I thought that that was just great. And so then he says basically that it wasn't like, you know, the disinfectant or anything. It was that he had been a passenger before, right? But he remembered him not because like he has like a good memory for like faces, I guess, but because to him, Dr. Gouriki, he's like, you know, very distinct. Like how he sort of said like, oh yeah, Miho's the only alpaca around here or something like that, right? And so I feel like that it's kind of the same thing. Like it's not even his memory, it's because he sees him uniquely, right? And so I think that that's just super cool. And see, I still don't get it with Shiho, right? Like I still don't get it with Shiho's whole character, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'm supposed to feel bad for her or not. I feel like that she did not love him. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you know what I mean? Unless like she feels some sort of like codependency because she was already in a bad relationship or something, so she just like, you know, fell fast for Odokawa like for that reason, you know what I mean, for something like that. Like I feel like otherwise like nah, you know. And so we actually see that in this scene they have the signature, and so that sort of implies that like Donraku was like in here, like well, they not even implies, they say he stopped by the other day, but what I'm saying is that the audio drama took place in here, and now the pen is actually back to her, which is interesting, is that they gave her the pen again. So it's done like a full circle and now it's back at the bar. And see, so they say he had an attendant and then a driver outside, and I wonder if that'll be important again, just because it kind of seems like that, like, you know, the bringing up of the daughter seemed very like important in terms of the audio drama. I do like this, how young comedians these days are obsessed with innovation, so that reminds me of like the Homo sapiens and don't have the basics down, or how he pretends he doesn't mince words, right? Or how being a commentator or judging comedy contests, I think they say, doesn't benefit him in any way, right? So it's just like, you know, he said this, he said that, and they're like, oh man, like you're totally like eavesdropping. But then he started laughing while reminiscing about his old mentor. See, that's interesting. So I wonder like if that old mentor is also relevant. Like what if that's Boss? Right? Like, what if Boss was his mentor and then Boss just, like, took a different, like, Yakuza type path? I don't know. I love this line that does losing your job make you turn back into a child. And so I love how the bar lady's like, yeah, I want to play. And so, wait, so they did the same thing again. Like, this is the same picture that you sent him, though. You know what I mean? So wouldn't, like... wouldn't Odokawa already know, right? And so then Odokawa basically like reiterates, yeah, it's clearly like Kakihana, but that's just how Odokawa is, right? Like the bar lady's just like, yeah, like it just be like that sometimes, right? Without realizing there's something, you know, something more going on. I can't unless they make an impression. See, and that's interesting too, right? Like the girl must have, like the missing girl must have made an impression. So he must know that like the mystery kiss girl is not the same, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same as, like, the missing girl. Like, if it's this thing that, like, they replace Mitsuya with, like, the missing girl was basically originally in the group and they just replaced her with somebody that looked like her, like Mitsuya. And that would also explain, actually, why everyone else is fooled and thinks that it's the same girl, like, thinks that Mitsuya is the same, you know what I mean? Like, that would actually make a lot of sense because they all see, you know, like, there are humans that look very similar to each other without being related, kind of like a body double or something, like a stunt double, you know what I mean? And so that actually makes things really interesting to think that everyone is human. So they switch the missing girl with Mitsuya and like nothing happened, you know what I mean? And nobody noticed, right? Or they switched like Mitsuya with the missing girl and the missing girl that's there now is Mitsuya, but wouldn't Odokawa know that? You know what I mean? Like it's either the missing girl was originally in the group and got replaced, or the girl that is in there now is the missing girl and replaced the actual missing girl. I know that that sounds really confusing, but you know what I mean, right? And so I feel like that, like, but wouldn't he recognize that Mitsuya was the same girl that he dropped off there, right? And so I feel like that it's not... She is not the girl that he drove there once. She is the replacement for the girl that he drove there once. So then he quizzes him on a couple other things, like just an email. Like, of course not. Like, you know, he can't tell by the writing and everything. Like, oh, like, Odokawa, are you psychic? Right? So, you know, he's trying to test his psychic ability. And then we see a random picture of a bird, right? But he sees even, I know that one, it's a bird. So it does seem like that he sees animals as regular animals. Like, he doesn't see animals as, like, personified animal people. So that would kind of give more credence to the fact that like it's like just a cat in his room. Like it is not the girl that he thinks looks like a cat, because he can tell that animals and people are like different, you know what I mean? Oh, so this was really funny. So he has Miho blindfolded, but then it's like, what the hell have you been up to, right? Because it's like, you know, he's just like, oh, what is going on, right? They all think that something is happening, right? And so, oh my god, I can't believe that the show went there with this. It was so funny. What are you trying to pull, right? Odokawa looks like genuinely pissed, right? But then he starts laughing and he's like, never mind, let's drink. It must be nice being unemployed, right? And so then they decide that they want to call Kakihana, but obviously he doesn't answer. I think he's knocked out at this point. So this is like really, really interesting. This little piece of dialogue here. It's about the dash cam data. Apparently someone else has offered to buy it for 90 million, right? I hope you're right, but we need to get that dash cam data soon. It was on the news the other day, right? And so the body, right, must be connected to them, unless that's some sort of red herring. The body that was found must be connected to their activities, because that was what was on the news. I haven't been able to sleep since then. I keep expecting my doorbell to ring, right? So obviously that heavily implies that they're involved, right? Because he's like, you know, I keep expecting that one day the police are gonna find me. Like, he's so worried about it. So clearly, like, that is a big piece of foreshadowing to their involvement. It's like, look at this guy, even he gets, like, you know, treated very poorly by them. Their CD's about to go on sale. You mean they'll make more money? Yes, and a guy who's a fan of Rui, won 1 billion yen in the lottery. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I imagine he'll spend quite a lot of money on us. 1 billion robbing him would be more profitable, right? But then they say like, oh, you know, like, but robbing him wouldn't help like the success of the band, I guess. Like if it seems like they're selling a lot of CDs, that's like good for like sales and popularity and to convince other people to buy CDs. Yeah, so I don't know what Yano was going on, you know what I mean? Like, what was he, why did he say that? That's so weird. You know what I mean? Like, why was he like, oh yeah, like Rui is cute, like I'd like to sleep with her? Like, what is he going on about? Like, just such a weird thing to say. But yeah, and so he basically says that Dobu is involved. He knows the guy who has the 1 billion, let that sink in. He's trying to get us to rob him and earn a free win, right? So he basically calls out actually Dobu's like whole entire plan right here. And so that's interesting because I wonder like how he picked up on that, like that he knows the guy who has the billion yen, like Dobu knows. Like how did that happen? You know what I mean? Like how does he know that they know? But it doesn't really matter. Or Dobu is planning to rob the fella, right? And so I feel like that was the idea. He's either setting up the idol fanboy to get robbed or Dobu is going to rob him. I guess that maybe like the whole thing was Dobu can't possibly have that money, so he is going to rob the guy to get the yen to buy the dash cam data. Very confusing, but I don't know. Like I thought that still this was kind of like a fascinating scene that he can like know the plays that he makes and knows his like train of thought. I don't really understand how he came to that conclusion personally. I'm still a little bit confused, but right now they're just saying that they'll play along. And so it's kind of funny because they're like, oh, I know Dobu's plan, but then Dobu is still kind of going for the plan later. You know what I mean? Like Dobu's still gonna do it even though they know, but I wonder if it'll be like Yano knows what Dobu wants to do, but Dobu knows that Yano knows, so Dobu will like change it up. You know what I mean? It's like gonna be like a third twist, I guess. And so they're keeping Kakihana as an extra life for some reason, which I find really strange. Like, I don't know why they would keep him around. Like, you know, like it's just kind of weird. Until he cashes that lottery ticket, we'll be keeping you locked away. But sis, why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who's like, what do they gain from holding Kakihana hostage, I guess? You know, I think that's just kind of weird. And then he basically decides to call his mom. See, and again, I feel like that this was very emotional and this did make you, you know, feel very sympathetic and remorseful, I guess you could say, like for Kakihana's situation, right? Like he's calling his mom for the last time and then Yano's just laughing and that's like such like an asshole move. But you see even like the manager like looks very sad, you know, to be kind of participating in this. Now something interesting with Tachi is that he heard Odokawa be like, oh yeah, like on your left, you know, it's Tachi, right? And so it's very interesting because he says later like, hey, like isn't that weird? Like it must have been like there's a traitor in our midst, but really it's just because of Odokawa's synesthesia, I guess you could say. But I do want to talk about this because I thought that this was kind of hilarious and also like the show just gets online culture so well because it's like, oh, if you'd like to help, please join the online salon, right? And so I feel like that's a Discord server. So it's like, hey, we're trying to break 10,000 members. For a limited time, the monthly fee is just 10,000 yen. So is that like $100? Like, you know what I mean? Let's look up how much 10,000 yen is. Yep, that's $114 Canadian. So about $100, right? And I'm just like, bro, you know what I mean? Like most Discord servers, like I think the highest I've seen to join a Discord server of a YouTuber has been like $20 on Patreon or something like that. Like I think that's the highest. Like most have it at 5, 10. I find that a very compelling commentary about like internet culture and like influencers and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like Tachi had like kind of this obsession with being famous and now he's like milking the audience he does have dry while he still can, basically. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Right? And so yeah, this is basically where he's saying like, oh, there must be a traitor in the salon because the salon is like, you know, the only place that they would know like what I was wearing, right? Like that I was wearing this mask, but really it's Odokawa and his like synesthesia, you know? This thing has a ton of views. I bet he's made a ton of money. I know, right? But apparently he's starting to gain haters. And so, yeah, they say he's a one-hit wonder and a coward, right? And so that's very interesting, again, kind of how, like, the tables turn. Everybody is, like, in love with him, thinks he's so cool, but now, like, he's, like, on the decline, I guess you could say. And so I find that, again, very fascinating as a little, like, social media commentary, you know what I mean? Like, I think that that does happen a lot. People get greedy, people get selfish, and they, you know, they change. And that changes people's perception of them. Like, the $100 to join the Discord server, like, oh lord, you know what I mean? And like, on one hand, sometimes I do sort of think, like, you know what, I don't judge, like, get that bag. Not me though, but like, get that bag, right? Like, if you supply and demand, I guess, like, you price things at the price that people are willing to pay for it, right? Not how much it costs to manufacture, or like, you know what I mean? Not how much, like, for you to get like a little bit of profit. Like, the way that you price things is at the maximum price, ideally, that people are willing to pay. Not ideally, but that's how businesses think, right? The maximum price that people are willing to pay for it, right? So if people are willing to pay $100, why would you have it at $10 when you can make more money? Even if it's fewer people that can afford $100, right? Like, that's sort of the mentality. And then we see that the comedy group actually got into the semi-finalists, and so that's good. I hope that, like, their whole thing will actually kind of, like, you know, go somewhere, because we know that they haven't been able to practice in a long time, and he just seems so, like, happy about it. So it's nice to check in with him, right? Meanwhile, we have Dobu and Odokawa cracking a cold one together. Like, their relationship has developed so strangely, right? Was the boss's classmate's daughter in the dash cam data. I checked, but I don't know which passenger she would be. See, and that's the thing. I'm like, why doesn't Odokawa just watch this himself? Like, that's the only thing that I don't want to say I don't get, but that's the only thing that I'm kind of like, oh, well, why won't he just look, you know what I mean? And like, review the dash cam footage or anything. And it's not like I can show the boss, right? So what are you gonna do now? Like, Odokawa, check the data, bro. Like, Odokawa could solve the crimes, you know what I mean? So Dobu really is going to rob the bank, but now we find out, first of all, that Miho was telling the truth, which I guess I feel bad about that right now. But then he's like, oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. Apparently my friend is missing, right? So he's like pretending to zone out so he can press record. And I'm like, is Dobu really gonna fall for this, sis? Really? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that was not subtle at all. Like, on one hand, if he pulls it off, it could be subtle. Like, I really liked how he took the photo of Dobu and then sneezed. Like, that was, like, really good and really slick. I don't know if this is so slick, though, right? And so I love how Odokawa has him to be stupid, right? But this actually does make sense now, because he's basically waiting for the lottery ticket winner to cash in the ticket and then, like, steal it. And so that makes, like, a lot of sense. I wonder who the bank employee is, though. I guess, like, that's probably not important, just because, like, we haven't run into a bank employee yet, like, in the story, and so maybe it's just, like, some random, I don't know, though. But, like, we know who he bribed in the police. So maybe we will see the bank employee, but I can't think of anyone who works at the bank. And so now it's revealed about the lottery tickets. And so his like target is the idol boy, right? And so I love how Odokawa later on is like, oh shit, right? And he basically goes to like, you know, pick up the idol boy and make sure that like he doesn't get robbed, right? And so you see the look on his face, like he's very like unstartled, you know, very like poker face. Because I demanded 1 billion from the manager, Yano will go after that guy for his 1 billion yen. So I guess that's how Yano knew. That was the explanation, that it was almost like a subtle clue or something, right? Like, because he asked for 1 billion, that means like, what could Dobu be doing going after that specific guy? And like, that's the whole thing. I don't know if they'll threaten him, but they'll force him to withdraw the money. So he's basically just waiting for Yano to do all the work. But also, Yano kind of knows that Dobu like wanted to rob him too. So it's very interesting how he sort of like, again, it is that like third twist, you know? It's sort of like the betrayal of the betrayal, I guess that makes sense, if that makes sense. Like, Dobu planted the seeds for them to go after the 1 billion yen guy because he wanted them to. And now he's expecting them to do all the work in terms of threatening him, and then he'll like get the money. If it's fake, it's fine. Somebody won the 1 billion yen. And so basically the idea is that Yano and the crew will find them, right? And so that's interesting because the manager already knows who won the 1 billion yen. It's the idol boy. And so I feel like that's something that may happen, is that I feel like Rui will be told to lure the idol boy basically like somewhere, like say out for dinner or or something, right? And then like bop him on the head, but like maybe, you know, he doesn't have the ticket with him or something, right? Like Odokawa was basically telling him to go into the witness protection program at the end of this episode. So I think that that's like really interesting too, is because they may get Rui to lure him, and then he realizes that like Rui is like not maybe a very good person, will do anything to climb to the top. I don't know, there's a lot that you could do with that, right? See, and that's what I mean. Like, I feel like that, like, is Dobu really buying this? Like, I feel like he won't, you know what I mean? Like, I think he knows better. And he says, I'm getting involved in a major crime here. Of course I want to know the details, right? And so I feel like that, like, this is Dobu, I feel like he's kind of testing him, right? And so I feel like that this is a problem. This is problematic because they've used like Big Daimon and Older Daimon interchangeably kind of this entire time. And so what if he sends his recording to the wrong one? Because I think he sends it to Little Daimon, but what if Little Daimon is the older one? You know what I mean? Like, right? In terms of like emails and how it's like labeled and everything. Because he's like, I feel like that Odokawa thinks that he's slick, but Dobu is gonna find out that he did this. Whether that's because Little Daimon is Big Daimon, or I guess Little Daimon is Older Daimon, or because like, or the other way around. You know what I mean? Or, what am I trying to say? Because the older brother will look through his younger brother's emails and everything. Like, I feel like that, like, there's a lot to unpack with that, right? But I feel like that Odokawa may not be as slick as he thinks he is. I do think that, like, taking the picture here was really smart and slick, right? He sneezed and took the picture. So I thought that that was, like, really, really good, right? To try and, like, cover it up. But I feel like that, like, there is definitely some problems here where Dobu kind of knows that he was recording and like sending it to the brother, right? And so I feel like that that's a little bit concerning. And did I miss the screenshot of when he sent the email, or maybe he sent it after? I don't know. I feel like I missed the picture. Oh no, he's doing it right now. Okay, see, he says Little Daimon, not Older Daimon, Little Daimon. So what if he sends it to the wrong one? You know what I mean? Like, I guess you could say that he has the contact in his phone because Little Daimon gave him his personal number, but I'm just worried about like the twins pretending to be each other, right? And so he calls Kakihana, again, no answer, but I really like that he goes to pick up the idol boy and like basically like does this in order to protect him, right? So I thought that that was really, really nice. When you think of it, 1 billion doesn't seem like much, right? And so he's like, oh yeah, I want to pre-order all of the coffees, basically, right? Could you wait a little longer to redeem your ticket? Some gangsters are after your money, right? And so I feel like that he should just go again into hiding because they may like kidnap him and threaten him and stuff like that. And so yeah, edit it and re-upload it. Say you didn't actually win, that you wanted to show off, pretend you're a pitiful idiot. And so I think that that's kind of funny. I think that that may like ruin his like quote unquote relationship, because they're not like, they're friends at most, they're like acquaintances, may ruin like stuff with Rui and everything, but you do want to live a long life, right? So it's like, if you don't want to die, right? If you value your life more than this obsession with Mystery Kiss, right? But then he's like, yes, I can't die until Mystery Kiss takes over the country, right? But like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that the moral of this story is that he, first of all, he should have cashed the ticket right away. Like, that's the very first thing. But the second thing is that, like, he should have prioritized himself over, like, the band and everything, because the band was, like, shady anyway, I guess you could say, you know? And so I love this because something that the idol boy says reminds Odokawa, and I love, okay, why aren't you wearing a seatbelt, sir? You say you don't want to die, but, like, you know what I mean? He says, oh, I can't die until Mystery Kiss takes over the country, but bro's not even wearing his seatbelt, right? And so then he's like, what did you just say? And then he remembers that Kakihana said the same thing. And so I wonder if it's actually a reference to a song, or if it just like the same like turn of phrase like startled him, if that makes sense, right? And so now like he's remembering everything, and I'm like, really, Odokawa? Because I thought like Odokawa knew the entire time, but he just like was being coy, I guess. He was just like keeping it secret, but he genuinely didn't know, and I was really surprised because he does say like, oh, like I'm so stupid, right? And so now he knows exactly where Kakihana is and what's probably happened to him, but I thought that he realized the entire time. And so it's gonna be interesting. I feel like he's gonna go rescue Kakihana or tell Dobu that they have Kakihana or something. Like, it's gonna be like crazy next episode, right? And so Kakihana is still kidnapped. You have Odokawa. Somebody even hits Odokawa with a van. Maybe that's like, you know, a police van, Yano's van. Maybe it's even the, you know, the murder guy. The murder guy is still after Odokawa, and we have not seen him in a hot minute. Then we see Gouriki's interviewing someone, which is probably the foster mother, if I had to guess. So there's a lot of intrigue towards the next episode for sure. In terms of theories I have right now, I think that Donraku is the dad. I think that Dobu definitely knows he was recording. I think that the twins will probably switch with each other. I think that what if Odokawa trades the idol boy for Kakihana because he cares about Kakihana more? I don't know. Like, I feel like that there's a lot to unpack here for sure. I hope that you guys enjoyed my review of the episode and didn't mind that I had to do it like this. I will see you all next week. Thank you for attending Calxiyn's Royal Court, and I will see you again later. Bye!